Whew. So now that I've sat on this for almost 2 full days, I can still say with full confidence that it has not marinated any more than what it did over 24 hours ago. My thoughts are still muddied, and I still cannot quite believe that Rafael Nadal pulled that off, and I don't think that I ever will at some level. I'm always going to think back on this match, and the first word that's going to pop into my mind is how. Now, if you have watched my channel at least a little bit during this tournament, you'll notice that I didn't make a preview for the final, and as far as that is concerned, I was just way too nervous to actually sit myself down. I honestly believed more than most people. Pretty much everyone across the board had said Medvedev, and as far as I was concerned, I was also going to say Medvedev in 4. And a lot of the times, I would throw something out there like head said Medvedev, heart said Nadal, but it wasn't even just heart. I had some type of gut feeling that he was going to do something special, and I don't say that to come back here now and say I told you so, because when things were looking bleak, I had totally given up. I literally was just sticking around after 2 sets, hoping somehow he'd snag a set and make this look respectable. At that point, I thought to myself, why did I even bother still believing? I just have to come to terms with the fact that Nadal is past the point where he's going to be winning hardcourt majors anymore unless he gets very, very lucky. So, I mean, as you can see, total 180 from my thoughts at the beginning of the match. The only reason I held out more belief than most is because I just like how Nadal matches up against Medvedev and how that matchup complements a lot of Nadal's strengths, albeit every single one of their matches, aside from their first one in Montreal, has been very, very tight. But it just came down to the fact that Nadal is probably going to have to be perfect from the get-go to win this in 3 or 4 easy sets. And while I felt I was more high than a lot of others about how Rafa had played this tournament, I just thought that the likelihood of that happening was dwarfed when you think about the prospect of Medvedev at some point just wearing him down, even if he gets off to a quick start. And it didn't really help when, after playing a brilliant first 2 sets, Nadal looked weary after 2 not very physical sets in Rod Laver under a closed roof against Matteo Berrettini in the semis. It seemed like after a bout with COVID and sitting out the back half of last year that Nadal's stamina, which already seemed to have been chipped away at, had taken an even bigger dip. And then you fast forward a couple hours and he wins the longest match he's ever won and the second longest match of his career. It's just the stuff of legends, and I mean, goes to show, what the hell do we know? Like, just when nobody else believed, just about nobody else believed that guy, he just refused to go quietly, made a match of it, and if that wasn't enough, took it all the way. And there was a lot of destiny at foot here. I am somebody that's quite superstitious when it comes to being a fan. You saw all these parallels to US Open 2019. He was supposed to play Kokkinakis in the second round at both for different reasons that didn't pan out. Then he gets Berrettini in the semis, coming off a 5-set win against Monfils right before getting Daniil Medvedev yet again. You talk about the 2012 Aussie Open final, a candidate for greatest match of all time, played 10 years to the day of this final. He goes past the 5-hour mark, and this time comes out on the winning end of it. The moment I heard that this match was going to be played on the day of the 2012 final, 10 years to the day, I kind of joked to my friends at that point, like, F it, he has to win it now. And then as far as the injury comeback is concerned, you think about a 35-year-old coming into the Australian Open basically cold turkey, his first action back after a hiatus due to injury in the back half of the previous year. You thought to yourself, I've seen this movie before. As Rafa fans, we were on the receiving end of that in 2017. How could we forget? I just talked about two of the most heartbreaking defeats of Rafael Nadal's career. Me personally waking up as an 11-year-old to watch that Aussie Open final in 2012, start to finish, and to this day it has rung as the most stinging defeat I've gone through as a fan. Lump in that 2017 final and especially the 2014 final, where he really wasn't even given a chance by his own body betraying him to really even put up a fight in that final. Along with so many other years at this tournament where he faltered in the quarters mostly due to his body, and when that wasn't the case, his runs had mostly ended in stinging gut punch defeats where he had seemed so close to the finish line. It really made that 2009 victory seem like it was a very, very, very long time ago, and as the years went by, it really did become a long time ago. And that 2009 victory is one that you can put on the short list of his most impressive and greatest titles of his career. Yet for Rafa fans, this tournament had mostly represented pain and disappointment. And last night, with one fell swoop, all of that was erased. When I wake up today, that 4-2 30-15 miss in the 2012 final that had been etched into my mind forever, it doesn't hurt as much. Those couple of forehands that I'll flailed at in the 3-2 game up a break in the fifth against Federer in 2017, those are all footnotes now. Instead of now coming into this tournament dreading the fact that we thought our guy should have had the double career slam a long time ago, and for the last couple of years seemed as if he was going into this tournament when that ship had already sailed, and the fact that he yet again proved all of us wrong, even his most ardent supporters, it is truly remarkable. I've always felt, and I think everyone should have that solidified in their mind at this point, that the big three are a different breed. When you think about that heart of a champion saying, I've just never seen it embodied more in three athletes than those guys, the amount of times at all kinds of different points in their careers where they have just proven everybody wrong and defied expectations, I have just never seen that embodied more. And Rafa in particular has always been known, the trademark has always been the fight, the competitor that is Rafael Nadal. And at this tournament in particular, he has probably staged more epics than he has at any of the other slams. Yet for the most part, that tenacious fighting quality of his has only resulted in him coming just short. And for him to take this title the way he did it, forget all about his age, the circumstances with the injury break, what was on the line with 21 and the double career slam. For him to claw back into this match and come all the way back with all the odds stacked up against him, hell, with him even failing to close it out the first opportunity he got, where I don't know about other fans, but I really was just praying that this wouldn't end up being another one of those moments that we would look back on bitterly regretting in the future that cost him a second Australian Open title yet again. But as scared as I was in that moment at 5-all, the man himself seemed hell-bent on not letting that become another one of those moments. It seemed like he was just not going to be denied some way, somehow. He was going to find his way over the finish line and right the wrongs of all the years past at this tournament, and that is exactly what he did. And for that, I'm a bit lost for words, honestly, but all I can say is, Rafa, my man, you are epic. I'm beyond happy that I stuck it through this whole match. This video may end up being a jumbled mess of thoughts. That's kind of what I expected it to be. Maybe I'll make another video very soon about the match itself and legacy implications and all that, but if you noticed, I barely talked about 21 at all. I think I mentioned it about once this whole video. it's very much just about the redemption that this match represented as far as the Australian Open is concerned for Rafael Nadal. And yeah, this will be one for the rocking chair. There is no doubt about that.